Good day to you all. I wish to address the issue of reward in Christianity. When we study the opening verses of Matthew chapter 6, we are immediately confronted with one great important question, and that is the place of reward in Christian life. For some who claim to be more spiritual than Jesus, reward is not necessary in Christianity. For those who claim to be more materialistic than Jesus, the reward is limited to material prosperity. I will address the two. For those who claim to be more spiritual than Jesus on this matter of reward, an old saint once stated that he would wish to quench all the fires of hell with water and to burn up all the joys of heaven with fire, so that men could seek goodness for goodness' sake and not for reward or eternity. This point of view is very fine and noble, but very far from Jesus' teaching. For our blessed Lord, the right kind of almsgiving, prayer, and fasting will all have their reward. This is predicated on the fact that to banish all rewards and punishment is to say that injustice has the last word, which also implies that the end of a good man and the end of a bad man is one and the same. Thus, one could say that God does not care whether men are good or not. We cannot take this stand because any action which achieves nothing is futile and meaningless. And unless a thing is good for something, it is practically good for nothing. Therefore, reward is one and the same time the byproduct and the ultimate end of a Christian life. Now, for those who are too materialistic than Jesus on this matter, when Jesus spoke of reward, he was very definitely not thinking of material reward as in the Old Testament, where the idea of goodness and prosperity are closely connected. Thanks to the book of Job, which was written to contradict this very idea. Meanwhile, Jesus never promised his disciples material prosperity. He in fact promised them trial and tribulations, suffering, persecution, and death. Moreover, a man who is always calculating his reward is thinking of God in terms of a judge or an accountant. He is thinking of life in terms of a law, a credit or a debit balance sheet. He is thinking of having earned so much and now expecting a reward from God. He is thinking of asking God, I have done everything that you want me to do, now I deserve a reward. This is the concept of a man who has a legal view of life. For one who has a loving view of life, he is always thinking of what to do for God and never what to gain from God. In summary, those who have such a legal view of life will never gain satisfaction in this world. But for one who has a loving view of life, he will gain satisfaction, greater responsibility, and a vision of God. To such people, may God grant us his reward through Christ our Lord.